I started out as a music fan, like 12 or 13, listening to Oingo Boingo and the B-52s and the new wave that was happening around that time. And a friend of mine was a guitar player. He had the idea that we should start a band, which sounded great to me. And he played guitar, so he's like, hey, you should pick up bass. I'm like, okay. And I went and bought a Steinberger copy because it was the 80s and started playing that way. I never really thought about doing music for a living or anything like that. I went to school and studied journalism. I thought I'd be a journalist. But all through high school and college, I was doing punk rock bands and touring in the summers and putting out records and really pretty involved in the punk rock scene. I was really passionate about it, but you know, it was punk rock. The whole point of it was that you couldn't make a living doing it. I remember having a conversation with myself because I just graduated from college. It was a decision as to whether to go into journalism or pursue the band, which was at that point like just barely paying my rent. My bargain with myself was I would do the band thing, but make sure that I had like a little bit of money in the bank to go back to graduate school when it was finished a couple of years later, which it actually was. But then I met Dave and started the Foo Fighters. And even for the first few years of the band, we were still young and the band hadn't really developed into something that we could make a career out of. I still always felt like, okay, this is the temporary step before life really starts and I get on to whatever the next thing is. And it wasn't until I was in my 30s when I realized, like, oh, I'm actually a professional musician, which still feels weird to say because I never took lessons. I never trained for it. I just always saw myself as a band person. Like I do bands. So I've actually tried to become a better musician in the last 15 years because it turned out to be what my career is. Yeah, I didn't really pick up bass and learn it in a conventional way. I self-taught. I didn't really play along with records either to sort of learn how the instrument works and how to play along with the band. I would just sit and play by myself and just sort of experiment with whatever came into my head and try to figure out fingering and a little bit of technique on my own, but I just developed it on my own and in playing with bands, which I think was really helpful. That was the thing that allowed me to continue playing bass for years, is that I learned how to play with a drummer and how to participate in songwriting and all the the sort of end user aspects of actually playing bass, because sitting in your room by yourself doing it is it can be fun, but you don't really get any results from that. I'd say I don't have a particular sound. When I started out, I had an SVT and a P bass, which I love. That's a combination you can't beat. It's pretty well known for being a great rock bass combination, and I just stumbled into it. It could have been a Rickenbacker and a bass man, and I wouldn't have known. That's been my foundation. I sort of go back to that, but I wouldn't say I have a particular style. I'll try different basses and different amps and just trying to experiment and find new sounds and see what sounds good. But I do tend to use that as a jumping off point, the standard SVT and P bass. It's pretty tough to beat.